Definitely an important part of this. Okay, the first thing I'm going to make is this strawberry puree. I need it for the cake itself and for the icing, and I just want to have it done and ready to use. So I'm going to literally just use my little mini food processor, process some lemon juice and some strawberries together, and that will be the puree. The recipe did not call for instructions on how to make the puree, so I'm kind of just winging it. But the cake itself is gonna have so much sugar in it already that I'm gonna not put any other like sweetener in here and just do the lemon juice. And the lemon juice will also preserve the berries, I think, so that when I make the icing tomorrow to ice the cake, the strawberries will not be like wilted. It'll help to keep them fresh a little bit longer. This cake I made like 2 other times, and it is unbelievably good. I am myself not a vegan, but my best friend is, who this cake is for. She requested it for her birthday this week, and I'm really excited to just be able to make her a little cake. It's such a fun way to bless people and still be creative. I love baking people things. It just feels like a love language. I washed my hands before this, so don't attack me. If she cared, I would wear gloves, but she doesn't. All right, let's measure this out and see if it's about a cup. It looks like about a cup. Oh my gosh, wow. Literally exactly 1 cup. That's pretty amazing. Got our strawberry puree, and now we can put out all the rest of our ingredients and get started mixing things together. If you tell me that you bake at home and you don't look something like this, like in sweats and a big t-shirt, then you're lying. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in the flour, sugar, salt, baking soda. I'm gonna use this cute little whisk it all together. This is like an essential part if you're making a cake from scratch, is mixing everything like separately and then adding it together, because if you mix it all in just kind of one bowl, it can really mess things up. So this is what it looks like so far. I'm about to mix all the wet stuff together. I'm gonna finish adding it all in first. This smells incredible. It smells like strawberry candy. Definitely an important part of this. Okay, so maybe that's a sign this is too thick for the whisk. The color of that. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. She really wanted a heart-shaped cake, and I only have 1 of these pans, so I'm gonna have to bake both layers of the cake separately. The way that you prep a pan is really important, especially if you're making a layer cake, because you need it to come out really clean and nice. So I'm gonna show you how I prep my cake pans. The best way to prep your pan for a cake is with a plastic bag and Crisco. My mom taught me this trick when I was really little. I just scooped a little bit of it with this plastic bag outside. Now we're not gonna use all of this, don't worry. Coat the inside of it by wiping, and I wanna get like all of the corners, every part of it, just to ensure that it comes out nice and clean. That looks good to me. It's nice and shiny with the Crisco. We're gonna take a little bit of flour, maybe like 2 tablespoons worth, and just like sprinkle it in the pan. Okay, this is my trash can, okay? Don't judge me, it's disgusting. Just kind of tap it around. We've obviously got a lot of leftover flour in there, so I'm gonna turn it completely upside down. Why I'm choosing to put strawberry cake and work with strawberry colored things on my bright white new chairs, don't ask me, okay, because I don't know. I could just go ahead and put it in the oven like that, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna go the extra mile and make sure that it is nice and smooth on the top and even. I'm gonna pop this in the oven now, and I'm gonna check back in a little bit to show you guys how I make sure a cake is finished or not, how it's baked all the way through. There's a couple little tricks to make sure that your cake is not over or under baked. So I'm gonna show you that in a little bit. All right, so it's been like probably 25 minutes. The way that I'm gonna check it is by sticking a knife in the center of it, and if it comes out clean or even just a little bit crummy, then it's done. If it comes out wet, I'm gonna keep it in for probably another 5 minutes and then check it this way up until it's done. So let's see. Oh, I think it's done. Yep, came out completely clean. So one really important thing to keep in mind when you're baking a layer cake is that you don't want to try to take it out of the baking dish that you have it in right when it comes out of the oven, because it's really fragile. It's really fragile when it's hot and it's freshly out of the oven. So I want to give it a little bit of time in that pan to kind of cool down a bit, and then I will try to flip it and take it out, and hopefully it comes out in one piece. Take a knife and I'm going to just kind of go around the edges, just to make sure the edges are at least free. Flip it, I'm gonna hit it a few times. Oh my gosh, perfect. It came out great. When I take the cakes out of the oven, both of them, after I bake this next one, I'm gonna leave them until they're completely room temperature, and then I'm going to wrap them in saran wrap and put them in the refrigerator because I want them to be completely cold when I do layer them and ice it. You have to let the cakes cool for a really significant amount of time so that they don't melt the icing off, and then the icing the cake, you know, all this stuff takes time. So making these layer cakes, it can be a little bit time consuming, but man, it's freaking worth it when you have that cake that you decorated and it looks beautiful and it's holding up and you get to give it to somebody or eat it yourself. It's just like the best. It's so rewarding and it's so creative. I'm gonna let these babies rest and cool, wrap them up in saran wrap, and then get to work tomorrow on decorating it. So I will see you guys then. We are ready to decorate this cake. We've got 2 perfectly cooled off layers. They are ready to go, but first we have to jump into making this icing. I'm going to use vegan butter. Now remember, this is a vegan strawberry cake, so everything has to be vegan, and my recipes always call for softened butter. It could get really clumpy and not actually be smooth, so you want to make sure it's softened. And then I'm going to add in my extract, strawberry extract and vanilla extract. Both of those are really important for this process. And then I'm going to add in my strawberry sauce that we made yesterday. And then the last thing that I will do is add spoonful by spoonful, I'm going to add in the powdered sugar. It's really important that you add it in a little bit at a time because it really can make a difference. And I'm starting at really low speed so that it doesn't like spew out everywhere. And then I'm kicking it up to higher speed once the powdered sugar is at least kind of mixed in. Powdered sugar helps to make icing more structured, which is really important when you're making a layer cake, because if you have icing that's really light or cannot bear weight, then doing a layered cake, it just won't work out. It's gonna seep out the sides and it won't be able to support the weight of that top layer or couple of top layers. So you have to make sure that the icing you use when you do a layer cake is very like structured and can hold things up well. Look at this consistency here. Do you guys see that? It's like, it's not moving. The bowl is like fully this way and it's not really moving at all, which is a really good sign. And then I'm gonna just do a little spoon test. And it's going smooth, which means that when we decorate, it's gonna be awesome. Let's try it. That tastes pretty good, which means it's time to decorate. I'm gonna use this little scooper here. Something I'm gonna do that's a little bit different with this layer, instead of putting it like right side up where I cut the top off, I'm actually gonna flip it over upside down, because this part that was actually baked in the pan is a lot more like crisp on the sides and on the top. We want it to be really nice and flat, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this up here. It's already looking so cute. So right now, all I'm doing is I'm kind of just coating the whole cake with the icing, so it's not gonna look pretty or smooth yet. I'm just getting it all over. I wanna get all of the little corners, and I'm just going to start lightly with a little bit of pressure, kind of scraping the sides and then moving this simultaneously, and just watch what happens. Kind of going over this one spot so that it can, there's some like air bubbles and stuff right there, and I don't want those to be there, so I'm gonna kind of just keep going over that spot, scrape off all of the excess icing on my bowl, and then this is the process. It's pretty much just this until you get it as smooth as you want it to be. I'm decorating the cake. Can you see? See the cake. Hey, blueberries.
Papa.
Blueberry. It's kind of normal to have to smooth it out and then go over certain parts. So wherever I'm seeing the cake like poke through, like here and here, the corners mainly, I'm going back over those with a really thick layer of icing, and then I'm gonna kind of scrape it out smooth. Probably takes other people a lot quicker than it does me, but I don't know. It's just, there's something really therapeutic about doing this. Cozy movie on, or Miss Rachel. This is like the classic cliche of a perfectionist, is like, I could never stop doing this, like until it's absolutely perfect. So eventually I'm going to have to stop smoothing it out and just decide that it's good enough. Maybe that's just me, but my perfectionism in anything creative that I do is unbearable sometimes. So I'm gonna have to accept the fact that this cake is not going to be absolutely perfect. It's gonna be beautiful and cute, but not perfect, and that's okay. Fold down the sides like this, and then I'm gonna put my icing in there like that. I don't really know a lot of piping tricks, to be honest. I've kind of like looked at Pinterest and looked at different things that people have tried, and so I just pretty much repeat the same little designs that I know. It ends up looking really, really pretty. So, hey mister. Ba 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 ba. I'm going to very unprofessionally transfer this cake onto that cake plate over there that's completely clean. This one is super messy, and you know, from decorating and smoothing it out, there's just icing everywhere. I'm sure that there's a better way to do this, and honestly, if you're a baker, if you know how to do this better without having to do what I'm about to do, please tell me, please, because this is stressful. Start up here, and all I'm gonna do is just kind of like go back and forth. Oh my gosh, that looks so pretty. Can you believe that? It's so easy. I'm just literally going back and forth. Oh my gosh, beautiful. And it's awesome because it's gonna cover up all of those imperfections. Back and forth, back and forth. Look at how good this looks on this side. Beautiful. Oh no, I'm about to run out of icing. Are we gonna make it? It's not perfect, but whatever. It's so cute. And I'm so sad that it's not for me and I can't eat it. Like, so sad. I cannot wait to give it to my friend. Oh. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you feel inspired to maybe bake your first cake ever. It truly is a lot easier than you think. You just have to do the right things. I believe in you. You can do it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys for the next video. Bye.